Welcome to Newfie'S Kitchen 5 Wildcard Competition. Newfie'S Kitchen is a musical event hosted on my YouTube channel where any form of music is permitted. This includes beatboxing, loopstation, producing, singing, and instruments. So this is the 5th iteration of this competition. For those of you who are familiar with how this event works, have been through the wildcard competition before, and ultimately just watched the events as they played out, you guys would notice that mostly we get loopstation wildcards, and ultimately most of the people who compete at the live events are using a loopstation. So if you guys are beatboxers, I want to stress that this competition is meant for everyone. You don't have to feel like you're not welcome if you're not using a loopstation, right? I know also as well that it could be a little bit intimidating to go up against a looper because a lot of people feel that they do have an advantage in terms of going head-to-head in battles and whatnot. But ultimately, this isn't a head-to-head battle. You are technically battling in a sense, but if you do end up at the live event, it is a showcase rather than a head-to-head battle, right? So ultimately, at the end of the day, whoever comes out with the best music will win the event, right? So this is an event about showcasing your music rather than going head-to-head in a battle. There are 10 wildcard spots. The wildcard competition begins on March 28th and will end at May 11th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So, if you guys do not submit your wildcard within this time frame, we will not be accepting any wildcards that are submitted after that. So make sure you get it in before May 11th, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. The wildcard judges will be Justin, Jay Sanj, and this cringe lord. If you choose to do a beatbox wildcard, then make sure that your wildcard is between 90 seconds to 180 seconds, so 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes long. Just because you have that maximum time frame doesn't mean you have to utilize it completely. If you end up with 90 seconds, that is completely fair. Just make sure that you are within that time frame of 90 to 180 seconds. You have full creativity with the audio, the mix, the mastering. So think of something like Tara Stanton's YouTube videos. If you want to take that kind of approach for your wildcard, then that is 100% permitted. This also goes with the production. If you want to take any creative liberties with the production, then feel free. Also, we highly recommend using a professional microphone of some sort. We want to be able to hear your beatbox at its maximum potential. If you choose to make a loopstation wildcard, then make sure that your wildcard is between 180 to 300 seconds, so 3 minutes to 5 minutes long. Just like a beatbox wildcard, just because you have that maximum amount of time doesn't mean you have to utilize it completely. You'll be judged regardless of how the wildcard plays out, as long as you're within that time frame. So don't feel like you have to make it the maximum of 5 minutes. Also, just like the beatbox wildcards, you do have full creativity with your mix and mastering and production. So with loopstation, obviously it being a device, you do have the ability to pre-record tracks. With Newfie'S Kitchen, we want you guys to have full freedom of creativity, so we allow you to have pre-recorded tracks in your wildcard itself and also in the live event. Also on loopstation, you can use stuff like samples. So samples is a little bit of a tricky one. We did try to allow it last event, but we found that people kind of utilized it in a way that we didn't really want them to. It kind of almost went into that territory of producing, which is also something we allow here, but we kind of want to keep those separated. So we'll still allow samples, but when you're using samples, please, for the loopstation wildcards, when you're using samples, please try to utilize them in a way that it complements the track rather than them becoming the main focal point of the track, if that makes sense. And also, if you use samples, you must provide the links to every sample you use. If you choose to do a producing wildcard, then make sure it is also between 180 seconds to 300 seconds. Just like the other two, just because it has that maximum time frame doesn't mean you have to utilize it all the way to that maximum time frame. As long as you're in between that 3 to 5 minute range, you're fine. Just like all the other wildcards, you do have full creativity with the mix and mastering and production. With producing, since you are using software to create your music, you must show the environment the music was created in at all times on the screen. If that's a little confusing to you guys, I have an example playing in the background here, so you have a good example of what that would look like when you're creating your wildcard. When it comes to the singing and the instruments wildcard, we haven't had any of those in previous events. Just know that when you're creating a wildcard for that, it can basically look like the BEATBOX wildcard, right? Like take the same procedures that you would if you're recording a BEATBOX wildcard, and yeah, just apply it to your singing wildcard, or if you're using an instrument, apply it the similar way. All right, so that is the wildcard competition. So what will the live event look like? All right, so if you won a wildcard, then you made it through to the live event. This time around, we're going to try something different. If you're familiar with Newfie'S Kitchen and how it operated, you'll know that it was a live event and you'd come in to the live stream and perform your music in a live manner. This time, we're going to kind of take the kickback battle approach, meaning that you will pre-record your tracks, take all the creative liberties you want, similar to how the wildcards function, upload it to your YouTube channel, but keep the video unlisted so no one can see it. When the live event happens, we'll be watching all the videos one after another on the live stream. I will go into more details about this if you win a wildcard, but I just kind of briefly wanted to discuss the approach that we're taking to not mislead anyone who are making wildcards for this competition. This kind of approach for the event may not be everyone's cup of tea, which is why I wanted to discuss this now in the wildcard competition video. Obviously, I'm going to make a more in-depth video for the wildcard winners and pre-qualifiers, but this is just a little bit of information about how the live event will operate, so you can expect, at the minimum, you can expect how it will operate if you do end up getting a wildcard competition, and also ultimately will be the determining factor if you want to make a wildcard for this competition in the first place. The live event will be on July 11th on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, let's quickly talk about the prize money for this competition. Last kitchen, we had $340 for the prize pool. This time, we're starting off with a baseline of $200, which was the case last time as well, but we had donations which further increased the prize pot of that competition. So this will start off at a baseline of $200. First place gets $125, second place gets $50, third place gets $25. If you want to donate to the prize pool, DM me on Discord or Instagram. I'll have my details here on the screen for you. Alright, and that is all the information that we have for the wildcard competition. If I've left anything out, any critical important information that you guys are wondering, which may be the case, then definitely DM me here on Discord, Instagram, or leave a comment here on the video.